What up, y'all? Hey, thanks for joining us. I know the title of the video may seem a little bit unrealistic, and it's certainly not a guarantee, and I'm not trying to sell you something. I want to show you something that I think is hard to understand at the beginning or at the introduction, but is the power of compound interest. So we talked a little bit about it in our last video when we talked about saving and investing, but I think it's important to understand what you can do when you set aside a little bit of money for a long period of time, particularly if you invested in mutual funds or stocks or whatever the case may be, right? Quick sidebar, quick note for you. This isn't how to make $1 million in a year. This isn't how to have $1 million cash in your bank account. This is how to become a millionaire with $7 a day. So just as an FYI, if that seems totally out of the realm of possibility, fun fact for you, 22 million millionaires live in the United States. That's a lot of folks, right? You could be one of those folks. It requires some thought, it requires some intention, but you can be one of those folks. The longer you wait, the harder it gets, right? Once again, being a millionaire is not making $1 million a year. It's simply having a net worth of $1 million. So your net worth is equal to your assets minus your liabilities, right? So the things you own versus or minus the things you owe. So that can be a house you own, cars you own, land you own, a business you own, whatever the case may be. But this could be a key part of it. And the earlier you start saving and figure that out, the earlier you'll get there and the more money you'll be able to make, save, invest, and enjoy. So I have a quick note for you at the end, something to think about. But first, I'm going to show you the compound interest calculator, how I came to this conclusion, and hopefully gets you thinking. So hold on one second. Alrighty, folks, we are back. Investor.gov. You can type in compound interest calculator to Google. We're going to work through this real quick. Once again, this is assuming $7 a day. So let's say you're starting when you're 20 or you're 25 and you're going to retire the same time that most folks do, 60 or 65, maybe earlier, maybe later. But we're going to use some basic assumptions here. We're going to assume you're starting with $0. We're going to assume that you're contributing $7 a day. That's for 30 days a month. That's how we ended up with $210 a month. Okay, that could be more, that could be less. We're going to assume you don't ever change that for 40 years. You invest $7 a day for 40 years, even as you make more money later in life, even as you get a promotion, take on additional responsibility, you never put in more than $7 a day. We're going to assume that you can find a stock or a mutual fund that returns 10% a year. I know that sounds crazy. I know that may not make sense. Hopefully this video encourages you to do some research and learn a little bit about how you can invest, where you can put your money. This is very reasonable and something that is certainly possible. We're going to assume that you earn 10% a year. We're going to hit calculate, which I've already done. The results are in. In 40 years, you'll have just over $1.1 million. If you imagine taking this to 300, let's say you save $10 a day. Let's hit calculate, game changer. You made $400,000 more dollars. Here's the crazy thing, y'all. Over a span of 40 years, all you put in is $144,000, but because of compound interest, the value of what you set aside is almost $1.6 million. Now, this is with the $10 a day that we just changed. So let's go back. Let's imagine that you put in your $7 a day. We're going to calculate. So over a 40-year period, you put in a whopping $100,800, and you have a net worth of $1.1 million simply in this savings or investment account alone. So hold on one second. I got a message for you, and we're going to let you get on with your day. Hey, thanks for hanging in there. It's a fun website to use. Once again, compound interest calculator in Google. You can play with any numbers you want on a day-to-day basis. Just a reminder, that's assuming you never make more money, you never set aside more money. It's assuming you only set aside $7 to $10 a day in those examples that we use. Look, ultimately, I think sometimes we think making $1 million a year or having $1 million cash is what it means. It's having a nice car, it's having a beautiful mansion, whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is a lot of folks who end up really well off make some really good decisions early on in their life that set them up for success later down the road. It allows them to buy the car they want, buy the house they want, live where they want to live, help pay for their kids or their grandkids' college, whatever the case may be. The earlier you start, the easier it is. both to build the habit and enjoy the rewards of it. So something to think about. Once again, I can't tell you where to put your money. This isn't financial advice, but I can tell you that the realm of possibility is expansive should you decide to put aside a small amount of money on a day-to-day basis consistently in a good stock or good mutual fund, obviously subject to the future of the economy, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, appreciate you guys hanging in there. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next week.